Look at this man. His name is Daniel. Right now, he is holding a single piece of paper that feels heavier than his entire life. The clock reads 2:17 a.m., and in this moment he is closer to surrender than he has ever been. But he won't, because he is about to rediscover a power he forgot he had. A power you possess too. This is the story of that power, and the single, unbreakable choice that changes everything. Daniel's life was not a tragedy. It was a slow fade. He worked as a typesetter at Evergreen Press, a small print shop struggling to survive in a digital world. His once beloved world of fonts and ink now felt obsolete, and he felt obsolete with it. He lived in a small apartment with beige walls that seemed to absorb the light. His most prized possession was a leather-bound journal from his youth, filled with sketches of furniture he wanted to build and a life he wanted to live. Now it sat on a shelf, gathering dust next to a stack of unpaid bills. He was a good man, reliable and kind, but he was slowly becoming a ghost in his own story, haunted by the quiet desperation of a life that felt like a placeholder for something more. The letter from the bank was the final crack, final notice. The words felt less like a financial statement and more like a verdict on his entire existence. He sat on the edge of his bed, the paper trembling in his hand. His mind spiraled, replaying every missed opportunity, every time he'd played it safe and stayed small. Is this it? He thought, the silence of the apartment pressing in on him. Is this the sum total of my life? He looked at his reflection in the dark television screen, a pale, tired face staring back from a void. This was the bottom, not a dramatic crash but a quiet hollowing out. The kind where hope doesn't shatter, it evaporates, leaving nothing but a numb ache. He felt himself dissolving into the beige walls and the silent, suffocating night. And then from the deepest part of him came a whisper, not a scream but a statement of fact. No, no, this circumstance does not get to define my spirit. His eyes drifted to the dusty journal. He pulled it from the shelf, the cover cool beneath his fingers. As he opened it, the pages crackled with memory. He saw a detailed sketch of a wooden sailboat he'd drawn as a teenager, full of ambition and wonder. He saw a version of himself that was brave and curious and alive. A single, powerful thought crystallized. I have no control over the economy or my boss's decisions, but I have absolute control over one thing: my attitude, my response. He didn't know how to solve his debt, but he knew how to solve a different problem. In the corner sat his bicycle, its chain derailed for months. It was a simple, fixable problem. He got his toolbox. With grease-stained hands under the dim lamp, he worked until, with a final, satisfying click, the chain slid onto the gear. It was a small victory, a tiny one, but in the silent battlefield of his apartment, it was a revolution. He had taken a broken thing and made it whole. It was a start. The following weeks tested his fragile resolve. At work, his suggestion to improve efficiency was met with a weary, "Daniel, we've always done it this way. Don't rock the boat." A phone call to the bank led to 45 minutes on hold, ending with a clipped, "The terms are the terms, sir. There's nothing I can do." The temptation to revert was a powerful, familiar pull. One morning, his repaired bike got a flat tire in a downpour. He stood on the sidewalk, rain soaking through his clothes. The old Daniel would have cursed and given up. The new Daniel simply acknowledged the frustration, shouldered his bag, and started walking. He was learning that resilience isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to walk in the rain. His attitude was no longer a feeling. It was a discipline. On one of these walks, he passed the Daily Grind, a small cafe under renovation. The owners, Maria and Leo, were struggling to maneuver a large sheet of plywood. Without a second thought, Daniel stepped inside. "Let me give you a hand," he said, not waiting for a reply. As he helped, his trained eye noticed the shelving unit they were building was unstable. "Forgive me," he said gently, "but if you put weight on that corner, it will tip." He found a scrap of wood and a hammer, and within minutes he had shimmed the leg, making it rock solid. Maria stared, her eyes wide with gratitude. "How did you know how to do that?" Daniel looked at his hands. I just notice how things fit together," he said. It was the first time he'd claimed that skill aloud. In that moment, he wasn't a failed printer. He was a problem solver, a craftsman. He spent the afternoon helping, refusing payment, accepting only a cup of coffee. He received something far more valuable, a reminder of his own usefulness. That single act became a ripple. Maria told a friend with a wobbly bookstore display. Leo told his brother. The calls started to trickle in. "Are you the guy who fixed the shelving at the daily grind?" With each small job, Daniel's confidence grew. He started carrying his journal again, its pages transforming from a museum of lost dreams into a blueprint for a new reality. He was being paid in more than cash. He was paid in dignity. People valued not just his work, but his demeanor, his quiet reliability, his refusal to cut corners. He was building a reputation, piece by piece, and rebuilding himself, layer by layer. One afternoon, a man in a tailored suit watched Daniel reinforce a sagging bookshelf at the store. He saw the focus, the care, the elegant solution to a complex problem. Afterward, the man approached. "My name is Robert Evans," he said, offering a card. "I own a chain of boutique hotels. I need a facilities manager, someone who doesn't just see a problem but solves it." Maria said, "You're that man. The offer includes a salary, benefits, and a team to lead." Daniel was speechless. This wasn't luck. This was gravity. The universe was responding to the new identity he had consistently chosen to embody. The life he wanted had finally met the man he had forced himself to become. Daniel's power was his attitude, not a fluffy concept, but the steering wheel of his life. You control the wheel, even when you can't control the road. His story is unique not because he got a new job, but because he chose to become a new man first. He fixed the broken bike before he fixed his life. So, what is your broken bike? The one small thing you can fix today, not your whole world, but one tangible proof that you are still in control. Go fix it. Prove you are the architect of your response, not a victim of your circumstances. Then, tell me what it was in the comments. Your story is next. If you're ready to write it, subscribe. The world is waiting for your unbreakable choice.